Hello all. Welcome to gayuias&tech, powered by Larry Cloud Solutions. In today's class, in day 3, we are going to discuss the topic about the Python operators. Here we are going to master the Python operators, which was the continuation to the projects of yesterday we have discussed in the data types. That is the Rahul case, who was a junior data engineer. He was working in Smart360 Bank. Now, let's go to this. Here, after completing his training on variables and data types, now he began introduced to actually data processing tasks. His team lead, called Anjali, assigns him a task to build a basic transaction simulator that requires performing various operations. Here, I'm going to type here. Again, I'm repeating here that his team lead, Anjali, has assigned him a task. That is, the task was to build a basic transactions simulator, that is calculating that here what they are using, the task was to build a basic transaction simulator that requires performing various operations. Here we need to they require the various operations. What are the operations? These are calculating the transaction charges. See here, the operations are calculating transaction charges, and the second one is comparing the account balances. The second one is comparing the comparing the account balances, and the third one is verifying customer status. And the last was checking the account IDs using the identity and membership checks. These are the tasks. What was the task? Here, the task assigned by his team lead was to build a basic transaction simulators that requires performing various operations like calculating the transaction charges, comparing the account balances, verifying the customer status, and checking the account IDs using identity and membership checks. To do all this, we need to mastering Python operators. Here, the Python operators means building blocks for every data-driven decisions and calculations in bank software, particularly for this project. Here, the Python operators are building blocks for every data-driven decision and calculation in banks software. Here, the Python operators means building the blocks for every data-driven decision and calculations in a bank's software. Now we will go to the theory, guys. Here are the types of operators. First one, we are going to the, let me take one new person here. The first one is arithmetic operators. Here, what was the arithmetic operators? Arithmetic operators are used to perform some basic mathematical operations. Used to perform basic mathematical operations. Perform the basic mathematical operations. Here in banking sector, what was the purpose of using this? Here we used to in banking sector purpose of using this arithmetic operation, these operations. That is, we use in adding deposits, comma, subtracting, subtracting for withdrawals, and also somewhere else also we are using in banking sector. We in calculating the interest, calculating interest, and also in somewhat currency conversions, currency conversions, and splitting or merging the funds, splitting or merging the funds. In those cases, we are going to use these arithmetic operations in banking sectors. In where these arithmetic operators are used in adding the deposits or subtracting the withdrawals, or also using calculating the interest or currency conversions. These are the we use these arithmetic operators. The what are those arithmetic operators? Here the arithmetic operators are addition, addition, subtraction, multiplication. Here we're going to use the multiplication for division, float. Here I'm typing here float, division, for the float division. And the third one is the floor division. Fourth one is the floor division to get the floor division. To get the floor division. And the percentage symbol use the modulus to get the remainder. That is to get the remainder. And the last one is the exponentation. This was the 2 stars. Exponential to get the exponential. So exponentations. These are the arithmetic operations. Now we'll go through the lab one by one. We'll see. Let me take one more code cell here and typing here. Here the what the Rahul wants to do is Rahul is testing how interest and transaction fees are calculated. Here we are going to test how interest and transaction fees are calculated. Here, first, before going to check the interest, we need to know the principal amount. So, giving the variable name principal underscore amount and assigning the value is 15,000. And after knowing the principal amount, we need to know the annual interest rate. So, annual interest rate was annual interest rate for this variable is 0.05. That is 5%. 5%. Now, transaction fee was transaction. Here the transaction fee is the value is 75. Now, yes, we need to know the time period. Yes, equals to 2. Now, here, the second step here is we need to calculate the total interest. Here, I'm going to explain you the step by step. These are the requirements before going to know to calculate the interest and transaction fees. We need to know this amount. What are those variables? Principal amount, annual interest rate, and transaction fee. And here the first one is I need to calculate. Sorry, First one is I would like to calculate total interest. To know the interest, we need to know the formula, that is PTR. Simple interest equals to PTR. Here I am commenting that the interest equals to principal amount into time period into rate of interest R. This was the formula. So here interest equals to principal amount into annual interest rate into years. Now I'm going to print this one. Can anybody guess what was the output? Interest, comma, interest. What here we are performing? Here we are performing the multiplication. Arithmetic operations, that is the multiplication. Let's run this program. See why I am getting here? Yes. Again, I am getting this. So 1 second. Now, let's see. After running this call, calculate the interest rate. We are getting the output as 1500. The interest was 1500. Now, after this, I'm going to perform like adding the interest to the principal amount. That is, the second one is adding the interest to the principal amount. So, what was the formula here? The total amount equals to total amount equals to principal amount plus interest. Now I'm going to print this one. Print of total amount after interest. That is total amount. Now I'm going to run this one. Let's see what the output is. What we are going to do here, the operation was plus adding. Here I forgot to give the quotation. total after interest. Now, total understood amount. So, now let's run this one. See, total amount after the interest is 16,500. In previous, after the multiplication, we got the interest as 1,500. So here this 1,500 and the principal amount is 15,000 was added. The total interest was, the total amount was after adding the interest is 16,500. Now the third one, I want to calculate the transaction fee, subtracting the transaction fee from this total. Now, subtracting the transaction fee. Now, what was the formula here? The net balance equals to total amount minus transaction fee. Now I'm going to print this one. Let's see what was the output. Print of net balance after transaction fee is net balance. With the net balance. Let's see what was the output. So I am getting here error. I haven't keep here solutions. Right? The net balance after the fee was 16,425. Here, one more operation I'm going to use here. Here the operation was, I want to divide the total into 12 months. Here the total amount. Here I am doing the division. Here what I am doing, the fourth one is monthly payment. Monthly payment. That is dividing total into 12 months. Let's see what was the formula here. To know this, we have to divide this. We have to know the monthly payment. So the monthly payment, the formula was the monthly payment is the net balance. Whatever the net balance we got in the previous subtraction, the transaction fee, that divided by how many months in a year we are having the 12 months. So we have to divide it into 12 months. So I'm giving here monthly underscore the variable payment equals to net balance divided by how many months in a year? 12. Now I would like to bring this one. What was the monthly payment? You'll see the output here. Monthly payment. Equals to monthly payment. Now this one. We'll see what was the output. See, here the monthly payment was 1,368.75. Here is the output. What we have done here, we have done the division. Now, let's do the floor. Floor means what we'll get? Here the task was due to calculate the fifth one is to calculate the rounded monthly payment. Here the output we got the float. So I need integer, like I want a rounded one. I don't want like this 0.2 decimals. So I want rounded. So in order to do this, we have to do the float division. So here rounded monthly payment. Here the task was the rounded monthly payment. What to get this, what we have to do? We have to take the float division. So to get that, what was the formula for this? Rounded. I'm giving the variable name as rounded payment and assigning the value as net balance divided by 12. Yeah, let's print it. What was the here rounded monthly payment. Payment is to rounded underscore payment. Now let's print this one. What we will get the answer. See, here we got the integer. We didn't get the float. Here, whatever the previous we got float that. So it was a rounded. So to get the rounded value, we have to use the floor division. Right? Now I want to know the leftover coins. What are the leftover coins? Here is the task. Here, Rahul once again he got the task like he need to know about the leftover coins in the transactions. So to know the leftover transactions, you need to take the arithmetic operation of modules. Arithmetic operation of modules. So here, what was the formula over here? Here I'm giving the variable name as coins left. Coins left equals to net balance is, sorry, value assigning is net balance percentage of 1. So what will be the output here? Print coins left modules, comma, coins left. What would be the output over here? See, here the coins left was 9. Now another operation we are going to use here is, so here I'm going to calculate the compound interest using the exponentation. Here compound interest using the exponent. Here the variable name I'm giving is compound underscore balance equals to, the value I'm assigning is principal amount. This is the formula for the compound interest to calculate. So principal amount into 1 plus annual interest rate to get the exponent, we used to do stars, 2 stars into multiplication. Years. This is the formula for the compound interest. Now I want to print this one. Print compound interest total. Second, quotation starts. So given the compound interest total is gamma compound balance. Then we will- Let's see what was the output here. What we got here an error. Here I have given the spelling mistake balance BALNC because but I haven't given their BLA, so that's why I'm getting an error. Now let's run this. The modified see the compound interest was 16,537.5. These are the arithmetic operations. Till now, what we have used the arithmetic operations here. The arithmetic operations, we have done the multiplication, we have done the subtraction, we have done the addition, we have done the division with the float, and also we have done the rounded division also using the float, we have done the modulus, and we have done the exponent. These are the arithmetic operations till now. Now we'll go to the second operations. Let me take one more code cell here. Now the second operator was comparison operators. Comparison operators. Let me comment this. Okay, comparison operators. Now, what was the purpose of using this comparison operators? Here we used to compare the two values and return the true or false. Here we are going to compare. Here we are going to use to compare two values and return the true or false. This is the comparison operators. In the comparison operators, we are having the equal to, and not equals to, and we are having the greater than, less than. We're having the greater than, less than, and also we are having the greater than or equals to, greater than or equals to, and less than or equals to. Like this, we are having here in the with the 360 bank. We are going to compare these values. We are going to do a task on this. Here, checking if balances meets a minimum threshold. Here in 360 bank, the task was checking the if balances just meets the minimum threshold. And the second point is comparing the interest rates. This was the task here, and also determining the eligibility criteria. Eligible. These are the tasks. In the comparison operators, what was the task assigned to the Rahul was checking the balances that are meeting the minimum threshold and also comparing the interest rates, and also we have to determine the eligibility. Now let's go to the lab and check what we are getting the output. Here, let me take the new course here. Here Rahul needs. Here the Rahul needs to check if customers are eligible for premium account. This was the task and upgrade. Now, in order to know this, we need the variables like the minimum balance required and the customer balance and the previous balance. So to check all those things, we need this the requirements for this task. What are those requirements? We need the requirement variable like minimum balance required. Here I am assigning the value as 10,000 and the customer balance. Customer balance. Here I am giving as 12,000. Now the previous balance. Previous balance. Here I am assigning the value as 9,500. Now I want to print the above given task, that minimum threshold, and comparing the interest rates and determining the eligibility. So here I want to get the output as print eligible for upgrade. Question mark. Here customer balance. Here the customer balance is greater than or equals to minimum balance. Minimum balance required. Let's see what was the output over. See, the eligible for upgrade is true. Why? Because he's having the balance. The minimum balance required is 10,000, but the customer balance having is 12,000. So here, what was the given to get an upgrade? Eligible for upgrade or not, you have to check that the customer balance is greater than or equals to the minimum balance. Now I want to print the customer has more balance than before. Now, here customer balance is greater than previous balance. Let's see what would be the output. Was it is true or false? Let's check this one. Oh, let's do this one. Why we got an error here? Customer balance previous. Here the spelling mistake I have given. Now we will run this one. Again I go ERE, ERE, VI values previous, VA only is greater than the previous balance. Okay. Let's see. I am getting customer balance. Close the bracket. Now run. Let's run this one. See, customer has more balance than before. That is 12,000. Now I would like to print like is balance still low. Need to check the balance is still low or not. Here Here the balance, here customer balance equals to previous balance. Let's see what would be the output here. The output would be, see, balance is false. Here why? Because the customer balance is 12,000, then this is previous balance is 9,500. Both are not equals. That's why it has printed as false. Now I want to print like, did balance stay the same? Can anybody guess that the answer, whether it is true or false? Let me run. Print. What was the task here? Did the balance stay the same? Question mark, colon, inverted commas, comma. And what was the customer balance equals to the previous balance? Equals to previous balance. The answer would be false. See, did the balance stay here? False. Here is the balance is still low. You're asking the balance is still low. I forgot to write this, still low. To get that answer, what would be the formula here? Customer, close inverted commas, comma, customer balance is less than 8,000. What would be the answer about for this one? Here, the answer is false. Now, I would like to print the old balance change. Is there any old balances change? That is print did balance change? What would be the formula? Customer balance is not equals to show the not equal to symbol, explanatory mark equals to previous balance. What would be the expected output here? The expected output is true. These are the comparison operators. About the comparison operators, here we have checked that like equals to, not equals to, greater than or equals to, greater or not equals to. These are the operator symbols which we get the output as true or false. Now let me take one more code cell and we discuss about the third one is the logic operators. Logical operators. These are the logical operators. These are the logical operators. The purpose of these logical operators is to combine the Boolean expressions. That is and or not. That is and is true if both are true. False or is false, at least one is true. That is for the or statement, true if at least one is true. Not reverse the conditions. These are the operators we are going to use. These are here the purpose of these logical operators are to combine multiple Boolean expressions. Multiple Boolean expressions. What are the operators we are going to use here? And operator, or operator, not operator. Let's see the end. For the end, when will we use the end? True if both the conditions are true. Both are true. For or, we are going to use true at least One is true. For not, we have to change the reverse the conditions. We have to reverse the conditions. How we are going to represent this? That is for the and A and B. We are going to represent like this. For the R, we are going to represent A or B. For not, we are going to represent not A. These are the logical operators. Here, the purpose using these logical operators in the bank sectors are to check the multiple conditions, that is balances and the KYC verifications, and also accessing if any condition is meet or not. Here in the banking sector, here in the banking sector, we are using these logical operators as to check the balances and KYC verification, and also accesses if any condition is meeting or not. That was the purposes here using the logical operators. Let's see with the project. Now here, let me take one more code cell here. Here, the task assigned to the Rahul was in the logical operators. Using the logical operators, the task assigned to the Rahul was checks the customer eligibility for a loan. You have to check the customer eligibility for a loan. Here, what are the requirement variables? Here, to check the customer's eligibility for a loan, we have to check the credit score and if he is having for the loan collateral or not, or he was in previously blacklisted. That we have to check here. So, in order to give that, here has a good credit. What I'm going to say here, I'm assigning the value as true. True. And for collateral, here I'm assigning the value as false. Is false. Now I want to print this one. I want to check the eligibility criteria over here. Check the eligibility condition. That is either good credit or collateral or I'm not blacklisted. Should not be in the blacklisted. So here eligibility. Here the eligibility is has good credit score or has collateral 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 and not is blacklisted. This was the eligibility criteria. Here, how we are using here, our condition is any of these. Between these two, any one condition should be a true, and and also particularly mentioned that this was he was not into the blacklisted. So now I want to print this one. Print eligible for loan. What would be the expected output for here? Comma, eligible. We have to put this eligible. Now I'm going to run this one. See, why we get the here? Here like here I'm giving the see these are the spelling mistakes. We have to be very thorough in this because I'm typing very fast, so that's why I'm getting these errors. I need to worry about this. Now let's run this. See, eligible for the loan is true because he was not blacklisted here, and here the one of the two conditions were one is the true. He having a good credit score, so that's why he was eligible for the loan. And the second one, and the fourth one we are going to study here is the bitwise operators. Here we are going to study the bitwise operators. The fourth one we are going to study here in the operators are bitwise operators. Fourth one is bitwise operators. Here the bitwise operators are mainly used in banking sector are leveling the banking software optimizations and flag handling. Here, how? Here, the backend systems here in the Smart 360 banks backend systems, each customer's accounts has a security status stored in a binary flags. In the bitwise means here we will store the all this in binary wise. So, for example, for the bit 0, we are assigning that as SMS alerts are enabled. For the bit 1, we are giving the email alerts enabled. At the bit 2, we are giving the two-factor authentication. Bit 3, that is bit 3 means it is an 8 bits. So it was a fraud. Like this, we are going to give in that here the Rahul is asked to write a logic that by using the bitwise operators to check the set up toggle these flags for account monitoring. You have to check this. Here the task was, once again I'm repeating, the task was to check comma set or toggle these flags for account monitoring. Account monitoring. To we need to be to know this. We are to do this. We have to be masters in the bitwise operators. Let's see what was the bitwise operators here. Here in the bitwise operators performs operations bit by bit. Here the purpose of bitwise was to perform operations bit by bit directly on binary representation of integers. Here, what was the purpose of using the bitwise operators? Here, the purpose is to perform the operations bit by bit directly on binary representations of integers. Here, what were the bits here? For the AND operator, here we are going to give the symbol as, once again I'm giving, for the AND operator, the symbol to this was apple. Sorry. And here it sets bit to 1 only if both bits are 1. Here for the end condition it gives the description is sets the bit to 1 only if both these are 1. Both conditions are 1. So here we are giving this, for example, we are representing this A and B. Here the both conditions are should be 1. And for the R, we are giving the symbol as cap, that here sets bit to 1 if only one bit is 1. Here, any of these conditions like here, A, let's take A is having 1, and or B value equals to 0, or A equals to 0, or B equals to 1. Any of the condition is having one bit, then we are going to use the R. Like in the same way, XOR also, if only one bit is 1, we are giving the XOR. Here representing for the XOR is A cap B. This is the XOR, so not into A cap B. This is the XOR. For the NOT, flips the bits. It's going to flips the bit 1 to 0 or 0 to 1. Here we are going to represent for the NOT. We are going to represent it like tilde A. This is the symbol for NOT. And we are going here the left shift and also here right shift. We are going to use here left shift and right shift. For the left shift, we are giving the greater symbol, two greater symbols. That is, for the left shift, we are giving the two greater symbols like this. That is, A is far less than 1. For example, I'm saying, for the right shift, we are giving the A is far greater than 1. Like this, we are giving this bitwise operators. So let's go to the lab and see what's we are going to see here. The output is here. Rahul explores the bitwise flags for customer security settings. Here, the task for the Rahul is, let me already on this task for the Rahul is explores bitwise flags for customer security settings. Security settings. Here, in order to know this, we need to know that each bit represents a security features. Here, bit positions are like 4 zeros space 4 zeros. These are the 8 bytes. So for the byte 0, we are giving the SMS alerts, that is 1. Here I'm typing each bit representation represents a security feature. That is, for the bit positions are 0, 0, first 4 zeros, 0, 2 zeros. For bit 0, we are giving the SMS alerts, that is equals to 1. For bit 1, we are giving the email alerts. With that, we are assigning the value 2. For bit 2, we are giving the two-factor authentication. Two-factor. This one is like a, while we are calling to the customer care to the mobile, we are also getting like for English we have to press 1, for Telugu we have to press 2. Like this way only we are going to do. This is the security changes in customer security changes in banking side. These are the I'm assigning the value 4 here. So for bit 3, I'm giving fraud watch, that is 8. Now I want to check. Let me take one more percent here. Now here the task first. Here the first task was current setting SMS less two-factor authentication. Here we are giving the SMS. Here they are giving the bit was 1 plus two-factor authentication. We are giving the bit was 4 bytes was 4 bytes. So 1 plus 4 equals to 5. So how we can write this 5 bits here? Like in bytes ways, like 0 here. We have to start here 1, 2, 4, 8. Like this we have to start here. So I'm giving for the 5 we have to write 0, for the 4 1, for the 2 0, and the 1. This was it. So here the security flag is security flags equals to 0 B 0 1 0 1 1. That is here. This one it is security flags is 0 binary. We are doing the binary for 5. Binary for 5. Now let's print this one. What we are going to see here. I want to print email alerts enabled. Rule of security flags. Rule of security flags, and the binary we have given is 0 B 101. What was the purpose of this? It will check. The purpose of this one is it will checks if bit is on or not. Now let's see. Let's run this. Email is enabled true. See here, email enabled is true. Like this, we are going to do this the bitwise operators. Now, after doing this, we are going to prepare for the assignment operators. The fifth one we are going to learn is assignment operators. Fifth one we are going to learn is assignment operators. Yeah. Here, Rahul is working on automating the daily balance updates for all customers. Based on the day's transaction, he needs to add or detect transactions amounts or apply penalties or interest rates, reset the counters or accumulate the limits. Here, here the here Rahul wants to do is the daily account summary calculations. Here Rahul wants to do is daily account summary calculations. What was the summary calculations here? Here he wants to, based on the day's transactions, he needs to do add or detect transaction amounts or apply the penalties or interest rates or reset the customers or accumulate limits. So in order to do this, we need to take over about the assignment operators. Here the assignment operators are used to assign the values to variables and update them based on arithmetic or bitwise operators. See here, assignment operators means used to assign the values to variables and update them based on their arithmetic or bitwise operations. Bitwise operations. These are the assignment operators. So you can see how these assignment operators are. For example, we are assigning a variable here, variable A, assigning a value to. So assigning a value is to. Like this way, we are going to assign the values. Here, the assignment operators adds like a add and assign. Here, add and assign. The symbols are add and assign, like variable x and assigning add and assign. Here, x less y. This will represent as add assign. That is less equals to. Now I'm giving the variable x equals to value I'm assigning is subtraction x minus y. Here I'm giving is subtract, that is assign, subtract assign, that is minus equal. But here I'm giving the multiplication assign in the same way multiplication assign we are giving. And also we are giving the modulus, that is division assignment. Here this is the division assignment. And also we are giving the floor assignment also we are giving. And also we are giving the modulus assignment also. In order to give the modulus assignment, we give the percentage equals to it. And we are giving the exponential. For exponential, we give the two multiplications equals to. And also we are giving the bitwise. Here we use the percent and equals to. These are the bitwise assignments. And also we're having the bitwise XOR assignment and right shift assignment and also the left shift assignment. Like left shift assignment means equals to this and the right shift assignment means this one. These are the bitwise, these are about the operators, assignment operators. Let's see in the project, like type how. Let me take an cell here. I'm writing here. In the initial back, we are giving the variables. Rahul balance update simulations here. Initial balance. Initial balance. For the to check the initial balance, we have to give the balance variable and assigning the value as 3000. Print here initial balance. Balance. Let's see what the output is. Expected output is initial balance equals to 30,000. And now I want to deposit the 2,000. Here, like one of the customer came and he wants to deposit the 2,000. So what we have to do here? Let me comment this. Customer wants to deposit 2,000. Let's see how we are going to assign the value here. Here for the balance. Here the above balance was 30,000. Here assigning the value as less equals to. For the adding the balance, so we have to give the balance 2,000. Now print after deposit. After deposit balance. After deposit the balance is. Forgot to give here comma. See, after deposit, the balance was 32,000. Now, I want to withdraw 3,000. Now, how we are going to assign this one? Now, customer want to withdraw 3,000. Now, we'll do the balance here, assigning a value after the minus. So, here we are giving 3,000. Now print balance after withdraw. Now let's run. How we are getting it? See why I'm getting here error. Lens. Okay. Now let's run. See, balance after withdraw. Here I have drawn the 3000 amount, so the balance was 29,000. Likewise, we can do the compound interest also. In the same way, we can also do the processing fees by removing the processing fees and so on. This way, we can do this calculation by using the assignment method. Now, let's have, let me tell you. Here is one of the lab scenario that Rahul get assigned. That one is the task for the Rahul, that is EMI calculation using the arithmetic operators. Assigned to an Rahul. This is one of the Jira ticket. How the Jira ticket looks here. Example I am giving here. The task was the EMI calculations. To whom you are assigning the. If I am a team lead, I am assigning to the Rahul. He is my junior to me. He was the Rahul, and here the description was. The description tells that what he have to do. What was the requirement for the task? Here calculate the monthly EMI using the arithmetic operators for variable for various loan types. Sorry, not variable, various loan types. Here and again the status. It will check that I'm going to check the status of his project, his work. So that's why here they are keeping that in progress. The priority was high or low or medium. Here it was important. Now it is a high priority. We have to done within hours. So this is the task. Now let's see what was the output we are getting like this. We'll run this code. Now you'll write the program here. First, here we have to give the welcome message. Welcome to Smart 360. So in order to get the Smart 360 welcome message, now we have to do that like print quotation welcome to Smart 360 Bank EMI calculator. Let's see. So if I am getting here an error, I forgot to give here invented. So now run again this. See, welcome to Smart 360 by EMI. Now in the step 1, here the requirement is to calculate the EMI based upon for the various loan types. So for the various loan types, we need to get the EM variable names. What are the inputs we are giving here? Print, print, Smart 360 blank, 360 blank. Welcome Smart 360 Bank EMI calculator. Now we are giving the inputs. What are those inputs? Here we are giving the variable name as loan amount. What was the loan amount you need? That is float of using the input function. Here we are enter the loan amount. That is rupees. Brackets closed. And the another variable is I'm giving annual interest. Annual interest rate equals to float of input of enter. It let you know that why I'm using here floor, why I'm using the float. I'll be explaining later. Please have a look. And please understand this logic what I'm writing here. And your interest that is in percentage. In percentage. Now one more variable is loan tenure years equals to int of input function. We are using here the input function. Enter loan tenure in years. Close, close. These are the variables. What the input variables here? Loan amount. Here the loan amount always should be in float. And the annual interest rate. Annual interest rate should be in the floor. So and the annual tenure of the years. How many tenures you are going to take this loan? Now in step 2, we have to convert this interest rate to monthly decimal rates. So in step 2, here in step 2, we have to convert this annual interest rates to monthly decimal rate. To get the decimal, what we are going to use here? Monthly interest rate equals to annual interest rate divided by 12 divided by 100, right? Now, after going to this, in step 3, we are going to do total number of monthly installments. Total number of monthly installments. Here, the total number of monthly installment is, what is the variable here? Total months equals to total months. What the value is here? Loan renewed into 12. In the fourth step, we are going to calculate this EMI using the operators, using the arithmetic operators. Let's see how. In the fourth step, we are using the calculate the EMI using the arithmetic operators. Using the arithmetic operators. So here the formula is for EMI is EMI equals to principal amount into rate of interest into 1 plus rate of interest cap n divided by 1. This is the formula. We know that how to calculate the EMI. That is 1 plus R cap 1 plus R close the bracket and give it to the power of n minus 1. This is the formula to calculate the EMI. So now 1 plus rho equals to 1 plus monthly interest rates to the power of total months. This is the formula to calculate the 1 plus rho n. Now, numerator, in order to get the numerator means this one. In the numerator, formula is loan amount star monthly interest rates into 1 plus r4. Now, denominator, here I am giving this 1 plus this underscore r. Now, denominator. Denominator. We are giving this 1 underscore plus 4 minus 1. Now, what was the EMI here? EMI equals to uh, divided by denominator. Now, in step 5, we are going to print all those things. Now, in the step 5, print of all the results. So, here, what was the results we are going to print here? Here. Now, let me run this code. See what we are going to see. Here in the upper, it is asking, enter the loan amount. For example, I'm entering the loan amount as 5 lakhs. Now, again, it is asking for the annual interest rates input. See, here we are discussed here, right? In input from user. This one, here the interest rate, for example, I'm giving as 7.5. Now it is asking for the tenure. I'm giving the tenure like 10 years. Now see the output, what I'm getting. See, welcome to Smart360 EMI calculator. Welcome, here we are giving. And the monthly calculation EMI is 593.5. Now, let me explain you the code. Here, first of all, while entering into the customer screen, we see that welcome messages that while calculating the EMIs, we'll see the welcome to the smart EMI calculators. Here, this is the just a welcome message. After that, in step 1, we are going to take the input from the users. What are those inputs that are? Those are the loan amounts, annual interest rates, and loan tenure years. These are the inputs we are getting. Here, the loan amount should be always stored in the floats because here the decimals are allowed. So that's why it is taken. The principal amount should be in the float. Actually, after that, we have to take the interest rates annually. So this one is also would be like in decimals. So we should take the float. And the tenure here, the tenure means always should be in the int form. It should not be in the decimals form. So that's why we are taking the int function. We are using the int function, and also we are taking the input function. In the input function, we are taking the enter the loan interest. That's are the input variables. After that, we are going to calculate the converting these annual interest rates into a monthly installments. Monthly EMI, how much we have to pay. For that, we have to take a monthly interest rates equals to annual interest rates divided by 12 divided by 100. This was the annual interest rate. Converting this monthly installment annual to a monthly installments. And after that, we have to calculate the EMIs. Here the total months are loan tenures into 12. These are the total months. Loan tenures, for example, we are taking the loan tenure here, we have entered 10. So 10 into 12, we are having the 120 months. And after that, here 1 underscore plus underscore row r underscore po underscore n equals to 1 plus monthly interest rates into to the power of total months. What we are going here, we are going to calculate the compound interest part. Here, the compound interest part was the formula in compound interest. The formula was 1 plus r whole to the power of n. So it is for the exponential. We are using the two stars, like two multiplication symbols. So that was the purpose of using this one. Here for the EMI, we have to calculate the EMI for the numerator. Here the numerator says that the loan amount into monthly interest rates into 1 plus r underscore o underscore n. That was the formula of 1 plus r whole to the exponential to n. That is the formula. This computes the principal amount into rate of interest into 1 plus rate of interest whole to the power of n. This is the n is the number of months. So see, for the denominator, we are going to calculate as 1 plus r whole to the power of n minus 1. For the denominator, we are going to calculate this. So the total EMI is the EMI equals to numerator divided by denominator. Just simply we are expanding the compound interest formula and calculating that compound interest in according to the using the Python operators. So that's it we are doing here. And later in the final step, we are going to print the EMI. Here we are using the EMI equals to 2.f. So here it is a string. So we are printing the value with 2 decimals. So that's why we have given .2. It will give the 2 decimals. So after the value, it will give the 2 decimals. That's it. See here, we got one more time. Again, I'm running this code. See here, it is asking the enter the EMI value. I'm giving 1 lakh. And annual interest rate was 7.5. And the loan tenure was 10 years. See, what was the monthly EMI? 1187.02. See here, why it is giving the 02 decimals? Because we are asking here only 2 decimals. In the string, we are asking in the print statement, we are asking only 2 decimals. This is the one of the task. This is one of the scenario. Likewise, we are having so many scenarios cases. I am giving to you an homework. So please do that and practice it. If any errors you are getting or any glitches or you can't understand to write the program, please ping me. I will help you how to do. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye. That's it for today.